my side? This is the phone. What's
All
up?
right. We are live. We are back.
What's up, everybody? We are back.
We had some technical difficulties. It's not sunny here in Florida today. And yeah, the rain unfortunately turned our power off, but that didn't stop us.
I still think there was an alligator attack. I think there was an alligator attack at the power plant. I don't know. Or maybe there was an AI attacker.
That's what I was going to say.
Huge cyber attack that put the power out down here.
Well, I'm going to give you guys the show because I have a 4:00 meeting and I just want to get live going. So if you're out there and you want to talk to Mark Savant, we are pinning him to the top. So go ahead and give him a ring. You could see him right there on the Owwll App. And we want the last hour to be awesome on the show. He came in here to do one-on-one calls on the Owwll App. So, Mark, the stage is all yours. And I'm going to leave you with Danielle for a little bit. And then you guys will take over from here. Thank you, guys.
So what I think is really, really cool here that y'all just probably aren't aware of is that Danielle is actually AI generated. All that you see here is completely AI generated. Isn't that spectacular? That is amazing.
No, not a robot, but yeah, I mean, you just tell me what to do and I will follow suit. You just type into my machine and, sing on command. Boop, request a song.
I think, by the way, any business owner out there, if you're not using AI, you need to make sure you get on the Owwll App now to talk with us. But Danielle, I want to talk a little bit about AI influencers.
Okay.
Because you're a singer, you're big into that whole influencer scene.
Yeah.
But just a few minutes ago, we were looking at the future, which is AI influencers, these AI generated people that are going to be taking over the influencer world. Do you think that that's going to be like the end of modeling as we know it?
Well, it depends on what industry you're talking about. So I think, you showed me, I wonder if we can pull her up on the screen for our audience to see. I don't know if we wanted to interfere with the Owwll App. No one's calling right now, but do you remember the name so people can search the woman that you showed me?
So there's some different influencers. The biggest one is an influencer called Lil Miquela.
Yes. So if you guys go to your screen, I think it's interesting for you to get a visual because I didn't really know what Mark was talking about until he showed me. And yes, this person looks completely lifelike, as if he was saying I was the influencer. I think for certain industries, fashion, to me, it's a no-brainer because as I was looking at the Instagram of this person, she just looked like any other influencer wearing the clothes well in her perfect body, but when it comes to photos, I think absolutely AI 100%. We're not going to necessarily need companies to send free clothing to actual people anymore. It can all be done, through AI, but when it comes to someone like a comedian or an entertainer or a singer, I think, obviously you could generate that, but you were saying as of right now, the videos, it's only 4 seconds long, right?
4 second, but it's pretty good. I mean, you saw that Lil Miquela, she had a deal with BMW and she's driving the BMW and she's zipping around town. She's feeling great. And how much she gets? She's getting paid at minimum $10,000 for that post.
Well, she, as in her owner, right?
Whoever's behind the scenes.
Her owner and operator. So it's not like we're just giving money to these robots. There's a human behind the robot, which I think is an important distinction to make because everyone's like, robots are taking our jobs, but someone's getting that money. It's not going to the robot. It's going to the owner of the robot who is a human being.
But this is why I think it's important, right? Because you're exactly right. It's to whoever's working behind the scenes, right. The manager of like 10 different accounts. But here's what I think is important. You go up to 20 high school kids and you ask them, what do you want to do when you grow up? A good portion of them are going to say, I want to be an influencer.
Yeah.
I don't think that career path is going to be available anymore.
Well, I think so. This is kind of a good segue as a musician, right? So many musicians back in the day didn't have to do any of the tech part of the job. They worked at labels. All they had to do was write songs and sing. That was their only job and do interviews. Now, if you want to be a musician, You have to understand how to operate a social media account. You have to run your own brand, podcast, all these things before you even get signed, right? So you have to be your own business entity. So maybe those kids, instead of being the influencer, maybe now their goal is going to be learning how to operate AI. Does that make sense? So they can be, so rather than saying I want to be an influencer, now these children are going to have to learn how to use the AI software so that they can say my bot will be, or my character will be an influencer, not me myself.
You're gonna have
Does
to,
that
but
make sense?
it's a very different skill set. The skill set of looking beautiful and wearing bikinis and modeling
Right.
purses
Versus
is
being behind a computer and, you know,
very different from programming
Yeah.
a chatbot with the graphic design. It's just a different skill set.
Right. It's a different skill set.
But
So
which is also, I think, is really dangerous for the young girls coming up. I have a 7-year-old daughter. Really dangerous for that young girl who's coming up, says, I want to be an influencer, but how could I ever look like this?
Right.
It's not even a human. It's a soulless image.
But
I don't even look as good as that soulless image AI chatbot.
But I do think that's been happening since the beginning of time, even with magazines like airbrushing. And we've been using this CGI on movies. Like the movie stars don't look like that when you go to their homes and they're no makeup. And they're already doing that with people now, So I don't think that it's gonna be as dramatic of a change. Like that's always gonna happen. That's been happening since the beginning of time. We're right now cutting people's bodies in half, making them skinnier than they are, airbrushing, whatever it is. So yeah, technically it's not a human, but even the person you see on TV is not what the real person looks like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it's to me, and we talked about this a little bit too. And which, by the way, if you have a business question, we're talking about the future of humanity right here. But I really want to talk about the business aspect to it. And so let's talk about that. We talked about the influencer. The other big part of that is the chat bot on the back.
That's what I was going to say. My biggest concern, or I think the most interesting part of this conversation, is the relationships that are going to be built between like the people and the computers, where you're actually conversing, and in your mind, it's like the catfishing thing where someone spends hours and hours of their time chatting with this person and then it's not who they think it is. But like, yeah, similarly using it for your business, where this computer, you can have these really detailed conversations and it can solve problems.
Which you can do. By the way, if you're a business owner out there, you can make a chat bot today in like 10 minutes. You can make it so freaking easy.
Using what? What do you use for that?
You can use ChatGPT. I had friends that were, I had known friends, developers that I've been talking to that are developing these chat bots for businesses. And then all of a sudden, ChatGPT at the OpenAI Dev Day said, oh, yeah, by the way, you can create your own chat bots, your own custom chat bots with your own custom advice, all within the ChatGPT program. You know how much it costs you to build that? $20.
Really? So that's just with
$20.
the upgrade. So like how, just for more detailed purposes. So say I'm a case study, right? So I am a singing teacher and I have a website right now you can go to. And so say people want to ask me for advice, like how do I hit higher notes, right?
Listen,
or like the chat bot would then answer those questions for me essentially?
Yes. So there's a few ways you can use these chat bots, which by the way, you can set one up today using ChatGPT Pro. It's $20 a month. You can set up your own chat bot right within there. And it's so simple. And here's some practical ways that you can actually use these chat bots to generate, let's start with leads, because
that's better.
So there's what you can do is you can say, I'm an expert in singing. I'm a singing and musical coach. Okay. I'll create Sing Coach AI. Okay. And then anybody that's interested, maybe it's the top of my funnel, it's the top of my lead magnet, it's a way of getting people to sign up for your email list. Okay. You say, hey, you can download, like, I'm an excellent musician. I'm an expert. I've been in the industry for a decade. I know my freaking stuff. This is the stage I've been on. And normally for me to coach, it's $500 an hour. That's for me. But guess what? Special deal for you today. You can get access to this brain, this beautiful, magnificent brain in this cranium for free. I've trained it on all of my frequently asked questions, how I handle all my frequently asked questions. I've uploaded dozens and dozens of PDFs and training manuals. I've uploaded links to websites and YouTube channels that I recommend, all within this chat app for free. All you got to do is give me your email address.
So essentially, you are tailoring the chatbot to sort of be a second version of you with your own personal, like, say I have a tagline that I always use, right? Like, are you sort of typing those keywords that Mark would always use to make that chatbot like more personalized to you, essentially?
Sure. Yes.
Because like I think the human element of things is like, why would you pick me as a voice teacher over this person or that person? I think it's like the energy that I bring, right? Or a lead for any business.
It's your
The
knowledge and
energy
your
you
wisdom,
bring,
right?
the knowledge, but it's like branding, the language you use. Like a lot of people will choose someone based on likability. Like if it's two people with the same knowledge, it's like, oh, I just like this person more. They make me feel comfortable. I don't
listen, I agree. I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
But like day one, getting this chatbot up in your business, I don't even think you need to necessarily worry about like, is this going to talk the same exact way and use the same vernacular that I use? All you want to do is get people to sign up for your email list so that you can put them into your email drip campaign. You can start marketing them over and over and over again. But you know what you can also do? You can make sure that every time that chatbot is going to recommend, like, I don't know, a singing booklet or a singing manual, it's not sending them to some random place on the internet. It's sending them to your resource.
Right.
It's sending it to your website. It's sending them to your affiliate links.
Got it. Okay.
It's sending it to your swag shop where you sell your hats and your widgets, right? So it's a way of generating income. It's a way of giving extra value. It's a way of getting people into your atmosphere. I've already been doing this with podcasting. By the way, if someone, because I get the same questions all the time.
Yeah, let's give an example right now for everyone listening of what a question you've gotten and how you've used this chat.
I mean, listen, I've got tens of thousands of hours in podcasting invested. I've got tons of PDFs and guides and manuals. What I can do with ChatGPT is I can upload all those manuals, all those guides, all those instructions. I say, hey, these are all, I'll make it super simple. You can ask ChatGPT, what are the top 20 FAQs for someone starting a podcast? And this is how to answer this question. This is how to answer this question. You can do that. I mean, I have all these FAQs and all these trainings. I've got 700 YouTube videos, so I can upload all of that, links, all that. And like one of the most common questions I get, Danielle, hey, Mark, what type of mic do I need? Okay, well, these are the mics that I like. And then I tell ChatGPT every time someone asks that, say, list these mics and then send them to my Amazon page.
And use my code and
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Super simple. Hey, or if you want more, go to my website and schedule a call, right? So there it is on the prospecting side. But you can also use that as extra value for clients too. Well, hey, once you hire me as a podcast coach, you're also going to get access to this advanced version of my chatbot.
So it's kind of in a way like taking, because there are a lot of people that do the online course situation. So it's like taking that to the next level.
Yeah.
Because you can then send those courses.
Well, because your time is valuable.
Right. You can upload those to ChatGPT and like feed people that knowledge. And then, of course, if they want more, then they can schedule that personal call with you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I charge $250 an hour for podcast consulting, or you can take Mark Savant AI, podcast consultant AI, and that's free. That's free. You can, and it's a way for me to deliver more value to my clients, and it's a way for me to generate additional income, which, by the way, never gets tired, never takes a sick day. Power never goes out. Well, the power might go out, but it's working 24/7, 365. In generating additional income through that process. So incredibly powerful. I honestly, I think that the vast majority of business owners don't understand how important this can be, A, and B, how easy it is to set up, and C, that this has already happened.
Right.
You need to know.
Basically free. I mean, $20 a month. Like you can't really get better than that for all that information.
No.
So
no.
And when you say that you're making money though off of it, do you mean like because you're then getting new clients from it because they see your value through it, or how or just through like the discount code thing, or how?
That's part of it. Or maybe there's an affiliate link. Maybe they want to know,
right.
how do I set up my podcast? Well, you go to Buzzsprout and here's a link to it. And then here's, we were talking earlier about, hey, Mark, what's an easier way? What's a faster way of editing my videos? Well, you can use Descript. Here's
my code. And then kind of like, Owwll, when you become a brand ambassador with us, you get a code. And that's something you could add to your, hey, do you want to talk with me for 10 minutes? Usually I charge $250 for a consultation, but get on Owwll with me. Here's my code.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Working for you all the time. Super easy. But another way that you're gonna be able to generate income is they're soon going to be releasing a marketplace on ChatGPT, so that people will be able to actually have the chance to go find your chatbot and purchase it. Maybe it's $1, maybe it's $100, maybe it's $1,000. But you'll be able to design and sell your app right on the marketplace too. So there's just another way you can generate income. You'll be able to, at a certain point, you'll probably be able to embed this on your website. I think for me, the best way to deliver it now is through an email newsletter sign up.
I think that people probably saw that we signed off, and now they're not calling in. They were calling in fire before, but they're maybe not calling because they don't know we're on. So I think we should maybe make some outbound calls. I don't know. I see.
You want to?
I see we have a mutual connection right here.
Well, Dawn's expensive though.
How much?
Dawn's $50.
Oh, I didn't see.
See, I like that. I like that. I like what Dawn's doing there.
Never mind. Let's see. Who could we? Oh, let's go to Active Owls, because that's who's on right now. Who do we think would want to talk about AI?
I know you're gonna be putting people on blast.
We're gonna put people on the spot right now. Because
people on.
We want to show you guys how this all worked. Let's see. Who could use some AI in their life?
Every single person.
Well, I don't know.
Time you must be learning it and using it now before it's too late.
Let's see. She is. Okay. I'm just trying to find Simlin. I mean, everyone can benefit from it. Have you talked to Rebecca yet? I don't know if you talked to Rebecca yet, but she's an interesting person to talk to, because she's all about like wellness and happiness specialist. And I'm curious to hear what her perspective on AI would be, because she's all about, a lot of, I think, people that, insufficient credits. Oh no. Okay, this is a different phone. I'm going to let you spew a little more about AI for a second while I just add some credit to this.
Okay. We'll get it rolling.
This is Jason's phone, right? Yeah. So let me see. Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, this AI stuff is just bananas. And again, one of the reasons why this is so important to me, year and a half ago, I got the dreaded call from a team member saying, "Boss, I quit." And I was like, oh crap. Now what do I do? So I started doing the work. I became completely overwhelmed. And I said, well, what can I do? How can I solve this problem before I find a replacement team member? So I found a program. I started using AI for copywriting and text. I was able to, I'm not kidding you, I was able to save 90% of my time almost immediately. And I just realized that the world would never be the same. And all these people, you might be sleeping on it, might think, well, it's not going to hit my industry. It is coming. Sometime, you've probably already hearing murmurings of this. There's going to be an AI training day at your office, at your organization. There will be an AI training day. It's going to happen this year. And if you're the person who doesn't even understand what that means, or you haven't been using it, you're going to be at a significant disadvantage. So you have the choice now. Do I want to be seen as the type of person who actually understands what's going on, that I'm actually using AI, that maybe I can actually interject some tips on how I'm using it in my workflow? You're going to be the freaking hero of the office. Or you can be the person in the back that gets replaced by a 25-year-old Bangladeshi kid who actually knows how to use the software. I'm telling you, it is coming. Don't believe me? I'll give you some examples. The World Economic Forum, they anticipate 80 million jobs displaced within the next year. McKinsey, the largest consulting organization in the world, the biggest, they predict 30% of the global workforce displaced over the next 7 years. And I'm not saying that to scare you. Actually, 6 years. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to slap you and wake you up. It doesn't need to be complicated. I'm not trying to sell you a $10,000 course. I'm just trying to tell you to start playing with the AI, to have an AI day at your organization, to have an AI day at your company, to start finding ways to save yourself time, because I promise you it will change your life. It will change your life. I'll give you another example of how you can use AI today. I'll give you a perfect a story. The other day, I was at my home office and I walked out. My mom was in town and she had her computer screen open, head in her hands, didn't know what to do. She was completely frozen. I said, "Mom, what's up? What's going on?" She says, "I have to write this paper on botany and agriculture in Florida. I have to do this, but I just don't know where to start." And I'm like, "Okay, well, follow me." I was like, "Mom, come on, follow me. Walked into my office and I said, "What do you need to talk about? What do you talk?" She's like, "Well, it needs to be about Florida. It needs to be about growing these certain types of plants and maintaining them." And I said, "Okay, watch this." I said, "Hey, ChatGPT, give me 10 examples of papers that I could write on the topic of growing plants in South Florida." And it gave me 10 examples. And then I said, "Give me 10 more examples, 10 more examples." "Okay, these are our 5 favorite. Give us more details on how we might outline a paper on this." My mom's jaw dropped to the floor. Everybody has a moment. Everyone has a moment where they realize that the world will never be the same. I just shared mine. I just shared hers. What is your moment going to be? What's your moment going to be? Everyone has one. I just hope that your moment is not the moment that you find out that you just lost all of your accounts or that you just got fired from your job because we don't need customer service. How many times have you gotten a call from a robot and then started engaging back with it? You might say many times, you might say no times, but I promise you that is coming. I had a guy on my show, Mike Wynn. His company is called Founder, his AI app is called Forge. It's an AI calendar app. And how does it work, you might ask? It's simple. When you schedule a time on the calendar, it takes your email and it scours the web. It scours the web for any instances of your email. Where do you live? Where have you worked? Who are you married to? Do you have kids? Do you like dogs or cats? All of that. It searches because it's all being registered under your email. And then what's you might say, "Mark, what's the purpose of this in as opposed to scaring me about the dystopian future?" Well, if you're a salesperson, you're able to get down to brass tacks way faster with that potential prospect. Because now you can say, "Oh, I hear the weather's great in South Florida. They got alligator attacks going on down there." Or you might say, "Oh, I heard about the tornadoes in Oklahoma. I hope you're okay." Or maybe you went to the same college or you know somebody who went to that college.
Hey, are you there, Mark?
Hey.
Hey,
we got Brian into his. What's up, Brian? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Mark?
Rocking and rolling here, just riffing on how AI is changing the world. How about you, Brian? How can I help? What are you doing today?
Absolutely. I have been doing a lot of things, but hold on, let me downplay the brand ambassador Zoom. There we go. All right, now we can chat.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I love your AI topic because I've been playing with AI for a while. I'm probably not as good at it as you are, and there's a lot of stuff it can do. I mean, it was just this week, I think it was, or maybe it was last week, where I had AI create a video from scratch. I literally just typed in exactly what I wanted to create, and it created it from nothing, like graphics and everything. It was pretty sweet.
Super sick. Which program were you using?
Visly.
Okay. So last week I was playing with Pika Labs and Runway ML, which does a very similar thing. Okay. You type in the text. It is shocking how good it is. Shocking.
It is, absolutely. And it was surprising. Granted, I have to pay for their pro account if you don't want their ad on your video, but you know.
For me, that video is is super cool. It's going to be the future. Like all the people in SAG-AFTRA that are on strike and they're like, oh no, our jobs are jobs. They're in trouble because that technology is going to get really good really fast. I already saw a video yesterday of an entire news a news channel is on Twitter, Channel 1 News, I think, Channel 1 AI.
Oh wow.
It looked really good. All the news anchors were AI generated. It looked really good. Are using
That's
what about
crazy.
yeah, I mean, what about AI graphics? Using AI to generate images. Have you played with that?
I have not. I need to do that too because I know it's out there. I just haven't had the time to play with the graphic side of it, though I may do that because that would be pretty cool too, especially for creating some really cool fading and I saw one the other day where they literally took a stump beside a lake and it literally morphed right into a person. So the top half was a human and the bottom half was stump. It was pretty wild.
I think for social media, for websites, for banners, that tech is already here. It's already good enough. Like I played with programs like Midjourney, Ideogram, but ChatGPT Pro with DALL-E has empowered us to use it there too. I was playing with this last night. I'd show you these pictures here, but I was seeing with my kids and I said, hey, I was just asking my kids, they said, hey, generate an image of a cool giraffe playing soccer. And it was amazing. It looked so cool. They were just like giddy with excitement. And I said, make it cooler. And then all of a sudden it was like wearing sunglasses with a backwards hat. And I said, make it cooler. And then it's like in this big arena playing cyber soccer. So,
oh geez, that's wild.
It's super. So that's a cool thing you can do with, again, if you're generating an image, you can say, make it cooler, make it creepier, make it sexier. There's all sorts of different ways that you can go with it. And it will do what you ask it to.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Now, you and I met at the launch, I think it was, and maybe even a time or two since. I can't remember. I think we saw each other at PodFest too last year, or this spring, I guess it was, or January, whatever it was.
Yep.
But I'm curious. I haven't actually started my own podcast. Is there an easy way to use AI to do basically all the editing and posting, etc., so that I don't have to waste a lot of my time doing that?
There's a lot of tools. So the long story short is there's a lot of different tools. There's some trial and error. One of my favorite recording tools is Riverside FM. Riverside FM built in. So Riverside FM is very similar to Zoom if you're not familiar with it. Have you heard of it before? Used it?
I've heard of it, but not used it.
Cool. So if you can use Zoom, you can use the program. Super cool. But after you finish your recording session, it's going to do two things for you. One of which is, and it just actually implemented this. I don't know how good it is, but this just came out. Is it'll write show notes. It'll write out your show notes. Again, I need to read it. I need to look at it. I don't know how good they are, but it'll write out your show notes and it'll suggest up to 15 clips. And then you can kind of walk through and say, I like this clip. I like that clip. You don't need to edit. You don't need to format. The clip is there. You just download it. All right. So that's a really cool.
Zoom, you can do clips too now, right?
Yep. They've just Zoom has also introduced an AI assistant, which is kind of cool. If you show up to a meeting late,
a bunch of AI stuff now.
Yeah. Which there's another thing I think we're going to see. We're going to start to see a consolidation. All these tools that used to be independent are all going to start consolidating down to a couple tools. But I like Riverside. They're doing a lot of cool stuff with AI. I got to give a shout out to my man Blaine Bocus over at Cast Magic. He's the founder of Cast Magic, which is a really cool audio, video to text tool. So it's a really powerful way of generating show notes, blog articles, emails, all of that. Super powerful. Descript is excellent when it comes to editing. It makes it really easy for you to find parts that you want to edit out of your video. That's one of my team's favorite tools. But here's the deal when it comes to AI in that process. You could start to use stuff like Zapier, Calendly. There's some really cool stuff you can do.
Yeah.
When it comes to the actual finished product, I do think that you want someone behind the scenes that is able to put it together and make it look professional. So it's not just generic. You know what I'm saying? We're entering this phase of the internet where it's very easy to start a podcast, but it's harder to stand out. So having some people behind the scenes that can add some additional effects, maybe some memes, maybe some B-roll, some overlays, clean up the text, I think is important. That's one of the things that is really important to me and my team. But because look, this stuff it's moving so fast. It's changing so fast.
It is. Yeah.
I feel like we, at my organization, we need to have an AI training day, like probably once a month or once every couple of weeks. We're doing an AI training day on Friday. But I think, for me, that's one of the keys is getting into it, learning it, testing it.
Now, how big is your team? You have people that work for you, or do they also quote farm out and help other people with their podcasts?
I've got a team of 6 people, 6 independent contractors. Then I have a couple more that I work with on specific projects when they come up during like the launch process or, special marketing projects.
Awesome. No, that's really cool. Now, one of the things I've always had the stance of is I would rather not spend all the time editing and producing my own show and just be a guest on other people's show, basically providing value to them and their audience. Which you can't always control that you're going to be on a show, say, every week or anything like that, unless you do a lot of marketing of yourself. What's your thoughts as far as the easiest way to monetize a podcast, especially with now AI? I'm sure there's a lot of ways to monetize that and really begin to build a large audience for yourself.
As far as the host of the show, Brian?
Yeah.
So the best way to monetize a show from day one is to have something that you sell, a product or service that you sell, right? Maybe it's consulting, real estate, law, legal work, whatever. There's something that you are great at that you can sell. And then you invite people on your show that are your perfect clients. They have money, they have the need, or maybe they aren't directly the fit, but they can be a good referral partner, right? So maybe I'm an insurance agent and I want to bring on property managers onto my show, because the property managers will recommend me to their organization. So I think that's one of the best ways to do it, because you can make, you're going to make a lot more money based on your product and service than you will for ads. Another great way to monetize a show is by having a guest payment process. So people, would pay to be on your show. A little bit harder to set that up from day one, but that's a good way to monetize your show. And I find some of my best clients come from that workflow.
So in doing that, how would you start a show where a guest would pay? Because you don't even have an audience yet.
Yeah, again, it's a little bit harder. I think that, from day one, you probably want to get the wheels turning a little bit. So that you have a little bit of
traction first.
Yeah, I think it's good to have a little bit of traction. Like, it's hard to sell someone on something that hasn't even been realized yet. I'm not saying that it'd be impossible, but like, for example, a few weeks ago, I had Neil Patel on my show. Neil Patel is like the premier top SEO expert in the world. Okay. And frankly, I never would have had a chance to have 45 minutes with Neil without having a show and without having the credibility.
Yeah.
But when you bring people like that onto your show, people start to recognize, and they're like, wow, Mark had Neil Patel on his show. Okay. It probably makes sense for me to be on the show too. I think I can get my value from there. So there is some halo effect that comes from having an established program.
Gotcha. Okay. And it's good to know that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of value, I think, to having podcasts. Probably one of the biggest things is I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to more audiobooks. And I don't know why. I guess I just have tended to do that because I can follow and listen at my leisure, and just continue from where I picked off, and it just keeps going basically, chapter by chapter. So that's kind of been my genre for listening to, audio. But there's definitely a lot of people that are going after podcasts.
Oh yeah, podcasts are a big deal. Speaking of audiobooks, I'm curious, have you ever written a book, Brian? Is that something on your to-do list?
So I've actually written 9 books. I haven't made any of them audiobooks yet, though I'm considering doing that. But I've definitely written a number of books and working on another one.
Have you heard of 11 Labs?
I've heard of it, but never looked at it.
11 Labs, text to audio. You could have an entire book transcribed to audio so that people could listen to it in just a few hours.
But is that the right kind of audio for, let's just say, Audible, for example? Because that's the #1 audio platform for audiobooks, is my understanding.
You could, but so here's the deal. And it's been a little while since I played with it, and this stuff is getting better every day. it does require some finesse. So like you'll need to put like commas and exclamation marks and periods in certain places that you might not necessarily, just so that the AI program puts the right inflection at the right point. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But that'll get better. And that's going to be the few voiceover actors, voiceover artists are terrified right now. I used to pay $500 for a voiceover for an intro on a podcast.
Yep.
Why the hell would I ever do that if I can use a bot for free that can do that same job excellently? It's a hard sell, voiceover actors. And I know that they're feeling it. I know they're probably going to throw me some shade for that. But I'm just saying that to be a realist, that this is coming.
It is coming. No, I get that. And that's where even ghostwriting is pretty much going to go out the door now, probably.
Oh yeah. Forget about it. I was, I just had in my mastermind group on last Thursday, we had a woman come in, Donna Valdez, and she walked us through the process of writing an entire book using ChatGPT. And it's shockingly easy and it's really good too. Now, I think it's, as someone who's an author yourself, you're probably going to say, well, you need to go in and put in your own kind of vernacular and clean it up for sure. For sure. I think that's important.
I always recommend that you customize it or make it your own. But the one thing that's interesting, Amazon just redid theirs, and you cannot put an AI generated book on their platform.
That's interesting. But so here's the question. How do they know? How do they know that it's AI generated?
So it'd be tough to know, but they make you sign that it's not. And they claim that if they can go in and tell it was AI generated, then they will actually remove you from their platform and basically keep all your proceeds, is what I understand. So granted, if you change it some, it's no longer AI generated, even though most of it might have been. Like, let's say it was 90%. They claim that if you change something 10%, it voids, patents and copyrights too. So I don't know who's the judge of 10%.
That's a good point. I mean, I think that's something that's going to have to work itself out for sure.
Obviously. Yeah.
But I mean, at the very least, you can use AI to like build out, the outline, the story structure, all of that.
It gets you some great ideas for sure. And it's really good for getting, statistics or any kind of data that you need. It's incredible for pulling data.
Oh yeah. But you have to be careful too. There was an attorney in New York who got roped up because he was using ChatGPT to do research for a case, and it ended up making up 6 completely fake cases. So the data can be a little weird, but it is cool. In
that case, I would want to check it and make sure the cases it brought out were legit.
Yeah, he learned that the hard way because the judge is like, "What is all this nonsense?"
Yeah. Well, hey man, it's great to talk to you, and I don't know if I'll see you at PodFest or whatever in January, but it would be awesome too if you're there. I'm there.
I will be there, baby. I'll be there on stage talking about what else? I'll be talking about AI and automating your podcast. So I'm excited for that.
Awesome. Incredible, man. It's good to talk to you again. We'll talk again soon.
You too, Brian. Appreciate you, brother.
Hey, thank you, Mark. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Some great insights in chat here from Brian. I'd like to hear from you, though. I'd like to hear from you on the Owwll app. On the Owwll app. And speaking of text, for all the kids out there who are trying to cheat on your high school writing exam, don't cheat. But if you listen, all that AI is a long language model. It's a predictive text mechanism. Although there were some drama recently at OpenAI about this thing Q, which apparently can has reasoning and logic and can do math and stuff, which is a little spooky. But at the end of the day, what it is a predictive text mechanism, right? So what you can do to kind of break that up and try to trick these programs like AIorNot.com is you can just change out every 7th word with a syllable. Just go in and start changing out words, and then it will be hard to tell. But I mean, at the end of the day, these AI text messengers are, these AI tools are not 100% accurate either. So that's an interesting thing. Hello, Chella. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Mark.
Hello, Chella. Am I pronouncing your name right?
It's I'm the female instrument, so it's not a cello, but a cella.
Chella. Well, Welcome to the program. How are you?
Marvelous, marvelous. So this is going to be, we were just talking about Brian because I was listening to it on LinkedIn, and this is the kind of a book related question. I have a course which is 55 ways to save money, but they're really short. So I've been encouraged to make the tips longer so that I can have more words on the page and we can put it up on Amazon and do all of that. So how would you suggest I go about asking GPT to embellish the tips?
Beautiful. So, the first thing you want to do with ChatGPT is kind of prime it. Let ChatGPT know exactly what you're trying to do, right? So, just like you told me, here, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant. I want to help people make more money. One of the cool things you can do as well, if you're on the pro account, is you probably, Chella, do you have like PDFs and training modules and things like that you put together over the years?
Oh God, yes.
So with ChatGPT, you can actually upload all of those PDFs to help train the model on all of your knowledge, right? I was talking about this a little bit earlier with GPTs, right? So that's one thing you do, kind of train it to get it primed, get it prepped, help to understand what you're doing. And then, honestly, you can just go in and ask it, hey, I'm writing a section on, budgeting. What are 10 topics that we can talk about in the budgeting section, right? You can say, okay, expand on 1, expand on 2, expand on 3. Okay. So it's a really easy way of breaking it down. The important thing here is that, I don't think it's good to just copy and paste that into your programming. But just write it over rewrite it in your own words. You know what I mean? That's a really powerful way to do it. Another thing that you could do, Chella, if you say, Mark, that's going to take a long time to type it all out. Agreed. It's going to take a long time to type it all out. What you could do is you could actually read it all aloud into a program. I'll use Audacity as an example. That's a free program, but you can read it all and then use a transcription software to transcribe everything. So, because you could probably read it much faster than you could retype in all of your thoughts. You know what I mean?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And then I will just edit whatever they transcribed.
Exactly. Then you just can kind of go in, edit to transcribe, or better yet, hire someone on a platform like Upwork or Fiverr, hire someone to clean it up. They can clean it up at a very fair price so that you can be out there moving and juking and living your best life.
Brilliant. Now, in your this is awesome.
I'm so glad.
You talked about kids earlier. So how old are the kids, Mark?
So my son is 4, my daughter is 7.
Oh, gorgeous, precious.
It's a fun age.
That's awesome.
It's a fun age. My daughter's in coding too. I keep talking to the guy over there, like, what are you guys teaching AI? He's like, we're getting there.
Wait, and how old is she? Is she already learning?
She's 7. Yeah.
And she's already learning?
Yep. She's learning coding, and we're playing with ChatGPT to generate images and stuff. It's just a new world that they're growing up in. So I think it's important.
Yeah, maybe she can tutor people like me who were just getting started.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I mean, we all start somewhere, but just this quick little framework that we looked at. I mean, you're going to be dangerous, Chella. You're going to be dangerous. You're going to be a writing machine.
Well, what's interesting is that this idea was just given to me last night by a friend because he's doing really good with books on Amazon. His genius is Amazon, right? So he's just got started and he's doing really well. I think his book is doing amazing. I mean, he's not where he wanted to be just yet, but he's doing like $125 a day.
That's great.
We're just getting started. That's pretty darn good, I think.
That's great. Yeah, that's amazing.
I think so. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And that words that.
Yeah, I mean.
So my book.
Well, go ahead.
Well, that's what he gave me the idea that my book has to have a certain amount of words. And that was like, oh God, where am I going to get all these other words?
Yeah, and the ChatGPT is so great for like expanding out ideas, because you could have like one paragraph or like one section, and then that'll help you turn that one section into maybe like 10 sections, and then you can just expand on those sections to add more. And you know, I think it's Stephen King who said great writing is writing something, taking out 50% of it, and then taking on another 50% of it, you know. So it's not necessarily, I think, about just adding words, but adding valuable words, you know.
Yes.
And I think adding stories, I've become more of a voracious reader. I'm not a great reader. I'm getting there. But I am much more invested in a book where every chapter starts with a story. That's me personally. I need a story to get me into it.
I have a story on each. I end with the story of the person that used this tip. This is what they achieved.
Awesome. Yeah, stories just make reading so much more interesting, especially with a topic like, financial education, which is, by the way, grossly underrated and grossly undereducated. But it's a dry topic. It's not really that much fun to talk about saving for retirement, So illustrating it with storytelling, I think, is important for bringing people in.
Well, and actually, the book that I'm writing now, that's 55 ways to save money, and it's geared towards moms. The book that I published 10 years ago, Money Bootcamp, is for 19 to 25-year-olds. And that I tested with high school and college students before I published it. So I have jokes and stories that they share with me.
Oh, it's amazing. I love that.
But even that one, they've asked me this, like, the content is still good, but we need to, I need to make it longer in order for it to qualify for the book on Amazon. So that's going to be my second project. My first project is the 55 ways, because I think that's going to be easier, shorter. And then the second project is putting the Money Bootcamp and embellishing that so you can have more words, and then creating a workbook so that teachers are able to teach the subject.
Love it. ChatGPT is great for list generation too. I actually have an entire guide. It's 100 pages. That's coming out probably next week. You can get it at AIupdate.ai, AIupdate.ai. I'll be sending that out on my newsletter, AIupdate.ai. But it's so good at list generation. If you're like, let's say you get frozen at 45 ideas, you can say, hey, ChatGPT, write me a list of 200 ways that moms can save money, and then you can just pick the best out of that,
Yeah. Well, no, Mark, so I already have it. I actually started with 108.
Yep.
I have the ideas, and I tested them, and I've been hosting workshops around that over 20 years.
Oh, okay. So excellent.
It's already tested. This is just now what has worked out best. So I took the best ones, the ones where people were really resonating with, people that were using, and then I put it together with, okay, these are the 3 tips, and this is how much the mom was able to save.
I love that. I love that. That's going to be awesome. Yeah. Whoa, I got explosions going up on the screen here. That's amazing.
Also, Jason did put that link you just shared on the post.
So great.
For future, just send them to the post on LinkedIn, which I'm going to go to right now and sign up for. Woo-hoo. So this has been a pleasure. Absolutely, Mark. I am so glad that you were here today, and thank you for sharing your knowledge and your wisdom. And yes, I will be letting you know when that book is complete.
I'm excited. Go crush it, Chella. I'm excited for that book. Go do it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week.
Thanks, Chella. You too.
Bye-bye.
Wow, I love that. That was awesome. Steph, is there a way that I can get the phone on the screen here too? Not sure. Okay, that's okay. But great question, Chella. This is the power. I think any industry where you're doing copywriting, whether it's social media, authorship, book writing, blog writing, email generation. How many times have you gotten an email from someone who's just, let's say you need to deliver bad news. Let's say you're a doctor and someone came down with an illness and you're like, oh gosh, I don't even know where to start. Should I just be like super direct with this person? Like, you have cancer, da, da, da. Or, is there a way to smooth it out? Like, ChatGPT can make up for our deficiencies it's especially really good for writing negative messages. It's very easy to be stuck in front of a computer, not knowing what to type, not knowing it to write. ChatGPT will save you that time and start letting your pen flow, letting the pen flow. Really, really good stuff. Wow, great question, Chella. I'm excited to see that book go live. In fact, in my mastermind group, we were talking about having a challenge where we all try to write a book in the course of a week. It's on my bucket list. It's always been on my bucket list to write a book. And now I feel like it's so easy. It's going to be so easy to write a book. Okay, cool. We've got another person in the house. Madiha,
Hi,
welcome.
myself Madiha. I believe I'm speaking with Mark, right?
This is Mark. How are you, Madiha?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Mark. As I can see your profile, and I really want to work with you as a video editor for your social media platforms. So, if you say, can I share my portfolio with you?
Yeah, you can go to marksavantmedia.com and you're welcome to shoot me an info. I'm curious, Madiha, how are you using AI in your workflows right now? How are you using AI for video editing?
Well, AI has been an amazing thing in my journey as I can take help for, just for a light theme and everything. I can see that I can edit my video with the help of AI. AI is not a thing that who can take your job easily. It depends on you how you use it, how you can take advantage of AI in your work and your expertise. So everything depends on you how you use it. AI is not everything, but it depends how you use it with your brain 100%. That's what I think.
Sure, but give me a specific here, Madiha. How are you using AI to edit videos?
Well,
I'm
I
putting you on the
use
spot
Human
here.
5.
You want a job? I'm putting you on the spot. How are you using AI to edit videos?
Well, I have the software right now, so I have a team over here. They use it for their purpose if they get any order. But if I talk about myself personally and honestly, I will tell you that I really don't use that for that purpose. I do that for writing and for content writing, you can say. But for editing, I don't use. I have the softwares like Adobe Premiere Pro and you can say Filmora. So I really don't use so much AI. That's what I want to say.
Oh gosh, Madiha, you're missing the boat. I'll give you a perfect example on how AI can, especially with Premiere Pro, is bananas. You're probably familiar with Autopod. It's a plugin for Adobe. Adobe's going all in on AI, by the way. They're going hot and heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But one
Yeah.
of the things that happens in podcast editing is talking heads. One person talking and the other person talking. And historically,
Yes.
as a video editor, you'd have to go in manually and swap sides and say, okay, stop this clip here and then add this person. And you had to keep doing all that layering. Very, very
Yes.
time
Yes. Yes.
consuming. Autopod for Adobe Premiere Pro does it instantly. It does it instantly. You just plug it in, it goes, and it will automatically focus on the person who's speaking automatically, and it will layer them. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Check it out.
Yeah, I
Autopod.
got it. I got it. I get it. I get it.
Yep.
But I don't know, but on my profile on LinkedIn, there are like I won't say that there are so many people, but the way I post, the way I you can say explore things for video editing and share them on my LinkedIn profile, I think there most of the clients they just come by myself just through my post. So that's what I think that video editing is something that I can do it on my own. Not every video editor needs AI.
You do.
It depends on your expertise as well.
I strongly disagree. As someone who's big into content creation, I agree that the human element is important, but
Yes.
AI helps do the busy work so much faster. Just like the example that I gave
Yeah,
you.
you can say that it saves so much time, you can say.
It saves so much time. And quite frankly, just speaking to all the video editors out there, graphic editors, audio editors, if you're not using AI in your workflow, you will not be able to compete. You will not be able to compete, because what might, like, I've worked with new team members that I'm bringing
Yeah,
on.
everyone has their own opinion. So yeah, you have your opinion at your side, and I really respect that, no doubt.
Yeah, it's important. You know, what used to take my team members hours, they can do in minutes. It's shocking. It's shocking.
Oh, all right. No issue, no issue. And one more thing I want to add is I have been working like web developer as a web developer also. So if you want to see my work in that niche as well, you can let me know here.
Thanks, Madiha. You can shoot me a LinkedIn message or hit me up at marksavantmedia.com.
All right, all right. Have you just shared your LinkedIn profile over here on your profile on Owwll?
It should be there. It's a Mark Savant.
All right,
You
all right.
can't miss me. Mark Savant, LinkedIn, baby. I will see you there.
All right, all right. Have a good day, and it's really nice to talk to you over here.
You too. Be blessed.
Have a good day. Bye bye.
What's up, everybody? I am back in the studio helping Mark leave some reviews on the Owwll app. He's going to take a few more, and then he's got to run, of course, because we said that we were going to 5 p.m.
Yep, but I can have a few more moments, because due to inclement weather, which tore down the power here, it's also taken out the parade. I was going to be marching in a parade today, but the parade is no more. Alas, no more parade.
Cool. It's kind of funny. For some reason, my phone didn't ring all day, and then all of a sudden it just kept ringing when
yeah, buddy, we're going. Can you grab the power cable for my my computer here too?
Hey, look who you have live on the air. It is the famous Owwll McGarry. How you doing, Owwll? You're here with Mark Savant.
Great. I made it through.
Whoop whoop. Owwll, hey, how we doing?
I'm doing great. It's a ray of sunshine.
A ray of sunshine. I like that. We could use a ray of sunshine down here in South Florida today.
Why is it raining again?
A little bit.
Just wait 5 minutes. It'll stop.
Yeah, I could tell you've been here before.
I lived in St. Petersburg for 20 years.
Oh, beautiful. That bridge to Tampa is amazing. Beautiful.
Yes. Howard Franklin, a lot of nice bridges there. But I'm excited. I saw your profile pop up today when I went on the Owwll app, and it's like, wow, I know I probably missed a whole bunch of great conversations, so I definitely want to talk to you more. But I'm a podcaster, and I teach on podcasting. I teach more the talent side, because that's what I've won all my awards for, the being the interviewer, the Emmy Award winner, and all of that. So I love the personal side of it, the talent side. But I am so interested in what you have to offer with the AI. I listened to what you just said. If you don't use AI, you're going to miss the curve. So if you could give me any kind of, and all of us here listening, what is the most important things we need to know about AI? I know I use it for my show descriptions and to come up with great titles, but what are some other things that I'm missing that helps you save all this time by using AI?
Yeah, well, certainly in any part that you're doing, writing is great. And one of the things, Araya, that I think is important here is that it's really empowering to people that might not be great writers. We live in this. I read the 4-Hour Work Week on a trip to Jamaica a few years ago, and Tim Ferriss was talking about, hey, you can hire people overseas who are great, they can do good work, and they're much less expensive people in the United States. Okay. But if you historically, it's been very difficult. It's been very expensive to outsource copywriting because it's difficult to do. And English is a weird language to type in, but you give programs like ChatGPT or Swell or Capsho or Cast Magic to someone over in the Philippines or in India, all of a sudden they go from being a level 2 or 3 writer to being a level 7 or 8, So I think that's incredibly powerful. Another quick thing for you here, Araya, is Zapier. Have you started playing with ChatGPT and Zapier?
No, I had ChatGPT 4, but not Zapier. What is that?
Zapier. So Zapier is a software that connects softwares together that don't normally communicate. Okay.
I did hear about that. No, I'm not using that yet.
So Zapier is super cool. I'll give you all kind of like a really cool way of preparing for meetings, because that can be a time-consuming thing as a podcaster, right? I have to study my person. I got to think up questions. I've got to get prepared for the interview. Okay. Let's take a step back and look at a workflow where we can actually use ChatGPT and Zapier to expedite and make that process better. Okay. So someone says, yep, Araya, I'd like to be on your podcast. Let's chat. Let's do lunch. I'd like to be on your podcast. Cool. Sure. Great. You send them a link to your calendar. Let's say you use Calendly, just for example. There's a bunch of different calendars. Okay. Once they fill out your form in Calendly, which asks them questions like your bio, what business you're in, what do you want to talk about, what are some challenges, whatever your questions are, maybe email, website. What you can do is you can connect that to ChatGPT using Zapier. So all those answers go into Zapier, into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will create a Google form in your Google Cloud or in your Dropbox, wherever you're at. It'll create a form there, and it'll fill in all of their information, and it'll do things like write out an intro for you. It'll give you example questions, example narratives, potential problems. So all that time that you might have spent trying to decide, what do I want to talk to this person about, using Zapier in your Calendly, ChatGPT can actually give you a lot of brainstorming ideas right on the front end.
That is so cool. I didn't know that it did that.
It's pretty amazing.
Now, I have a question for the non-techies. Do you have a way where somebody could connect all those dots for an entrepreneur? Everything you just said to do, or is it really simple for people to do what you just said, to connect those?
Yeah, so I mean, Zapier is a little tricky to get started with, but it's not overly complicated.
Okay.
This is something that I do at my consulting agency, so you can find more information at marksavantmedia.com. But I also, if you shoot me, I'm not sure how to get the link to you here, but I actually have a YouTube video that kind of walks through this process. So I'd be happy to shoot you a link to that YouTube video. It'll walk you through connecting Zapier. It kind of walks through a slightly different workflow using a Google form to write blogs, but the concept is the same in getting it set up. And I'm telling you, once you get Zapier moving, it's like the world opens up, because, and this is what I think people don't understand, is that once we start automating AI into our workflows, it's like having 12 hands. You're doing your research. It's writing blogs automatically. It's finding ways to remove yourself from these manual processes, and so Zapier and AI in general is phenomenal. Like, you can use Zapier. Here's another cool tip with Zapier, is connecting it to your CRM. So anybody that books in Calendly, it also will send over information to your CRM. I use Go High Level, for example. Sends it to Go High Level.
That's what I use. Okay.
Yep. And then Go High Level, you can put them into a drip campaign. You can email them, market them. It'll label them and tag them. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with Zapier in your CRM.
Well, that just saved me a whole bunch of time. I like that, because as far as my investigating and questioning everything, I'm such an unscripted interviewer, and all of that comes really easy to me, but it doesn't to everyone. But what you just said about connecting this to my Go High Level and giving them that drip campaign, that will save me time, because I put everything in this, email, to get their information, their bio, their headshot, and all of that. But to connect it to AI, that is definitely my next step. That's worth the phone call right here. Amazing.
Love it. Glad to help.
And I notice this is weird, I'm already subscribed to your YouTube, and now I'm connecting the dots. You're here on the Owl, but I've been your fan on YouTube for a while now, because I've seen your videos. Such a small world.
Thank you. I love that. It's always funny. I'll be at a conference and someone will walk up and say, Are you Mark Savant? This just happened at the Vault conference. You know what's funny? I was like, yeah. Like, I listen to your podcast every week. This is so amazing. I'm like, cool. That's again the major power of podcasting in media is you kind of have like a hype man that's walking in front of you everywhere you go. So I'm glad to be connected. And if there's anything you want to hear, I'm here for it.
Absolutely. I'll absolutely reach out to you. I'd love to have you on my podcast television show. Mine's a TV podcast because I've always done television. And so I always kept that TV component in it. I've been doing it for about 3 years. And I'm just loving this whole world of podcasting, the people that we meet, the collaborations we make by the right person being on the shows. I just love it. So yeah, I'd love to have more conversations with you. Thank goodness for the Owwll app that brings cool people together like this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm so glad to connect and listen, hear more about you. And, I'll certainly be covering more, this idea of automating the CRM with AI and whatnot, because I think that's
a great topic.
That's what to me is when things get really exciting, is when we can start automating customization at scale. Because right now it takes a long, like just the other day, someone on Facebook was complaining because someone had reached out to him and sent him a very generic email, salesy message in the DMs.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it. There's formulas for every 100 people you DM, 10 will respond, one of them will buy, right? So I get the formulas. But when this stuff gets cool is when the AI scrapes their entire Facebook profile and then sends a custom DM based on the information that's in it. You're like,
oh my gosh.
Hey, Araya, I love dogs too. I see you have a dog. We should talk. So it's just going to really improve, I think, open rates and click-through rates when you start using this AI at scale to send messages.
Wow, it doesn't sound like science fiction now, but we're into the sci-fi has now become our reality. It's so cool. So thank you for teaching us and giving us even more tips on how to use this definitely new trending platforms that we have to embrace. Just like back in the day, we had to embrace the internet. Otherwise, we'd go out of business. Now we have to embrace AI or we won't be above the curve at all. So thank you for that. I'm going to be calling your organization. I can't wait to talk to you some more.
Woo! I'm excited for that, Urea.
Thank you so much. I know I'll look room for more people to call you in. Thank you for this wonderful 4 hours of wisdom.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Make it great, baby. Make it great. Let's go.
Great job. Great job.
There you have it, Urea, master podcaster, crushing it, and just learning some new things. And I think, here's where AI is exciting is, you're an expert, you're the best of the best, but do you really want to spend time doing all that like trifling stuff, the stuff that just doesn't provide a lot of value? It needs to be done. It needs to be done. Someone needs to write this. Someone needs to categorize that. This stuff takes a lot of time. Do you want to spend your time doing that? Or do you want to spend your time on calls with clients? Do you want to spend your time calling prospects? Do you want to spend your time with your friends and family? I know I do. I want the AI working in the background 24/7, 365. I want to incorporate it into all of my business systems. And I know what you're saying, Mark. I was just watching this movie on Netflix with Julia Roberts, and the Teslas were going crazy, and it's the end of the world, and cyber. Like, I get it. Yeah, I'm worried about that stuff too. But like if you're just going to sit in a rabbit hole with a tinfoil cap on, saying like, oh, I'm totally anti-AI, nothing I do will ever have AI in it, you're not going to be competitive. I'm sorry. I'm going to be in a Ferrari. You're going to be on a bicycle. You are not going to win that race. All right, we got another caller in here. Let's go. Pamela, welcome to the show.
Hello, Mark. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Welcome to
Awesome.
some 4 hours of wisdom here. How we doing? How can I help, Pamela?
Yeah, we're doing good. Okay, so I love that you're in AI. I'm putting together an intro to QA AI course because I've been in IT for 30 years and in QA for 30 most of that time. So from your perspective, because I feel like AI isn't a collaborative tool to use along with QA. It's not going to replace QA. I just don't feel like that because you have to have that human element in order, to gauge whether your app is performing, it's not performing, it's getting you the right results or not. So do you have any suggestions or, how to make sure that I can get that across or, convey that to the students in the course or to promote it?
So, well, let's start here. Who are you speaking to, and what level of understanding do they have in what you're teaching?
So for this, definitely they would have to be an IT professional that instead of say doing development, maybe they want to move into QA, or instead of doing graphic design, they want to start, testing out the web app. So it is somebody that has a level of understanding of IT, and technology in general.
Okay. And the goal of your course is to help them use AI in their workflows. Am I hearing you right?
Yes, how they can use it in combination with their testing of the web app, just to make it more efficient, and to create that streamlined process if possible, or as
Okay.
it's possible in their web app.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to do something here because, to be frank, I'm not 100% positive. So what I'm going to do here is I've got ChatGPT open on my screen, and I'm going to
Okay.
see if I can actually use ChatGPT in real time to try to figure out how to continue and improve this. Because quite frankly, I think that's a great place to start, right? So let's
Okay. Yeah.
let's type this out. Let's see how this goes here. We're doing real time Q&A here. Okay, so I'm building a course to teach IT professionals.
Yes.
With would you say a beginner, moderate, or expert understanding?
I would say at least moderate.
With moderate,
begin to moderate. Yeah, somewhere in between there. Yeah.
with moderate understanding of QA tools. Is that a good way of putting it?
Yes.
Okay. My course is going to teach them how to use AI to streamline their workflows. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Workflows. And where are we at in the process yet? Have you written out the curriculum?
So I do have the curriculum written out, and I'm doing audio rooms to kind of draw engagement. So I'm going to set one up for Saturday and then another one up for next week, because I would really like to start the course in January, like real time, and then have it recorded, and then I can put it on my platform to be evergreen.
I love that. Which by the way, one of the best ways to develop a course is to sell it before you make it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Too many course builders just put blood, sweat, and tears into something that doesn't sell. So sell it before you make it. I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
And what is so you're going to teach them how to use AI to streamline their workflows. So what is the main question here? How do I format it? What are the main what should be the main topics? Where are we at in the process of building out the curriculum?
So those are good questions. And also like components, like what are the components of AI to inform, the students and use in collaboration?
Okay. What are the best, would you say the best tools?
Yeah, tools would be good. Yeah.
Available for this industry. Okay. So I'm saying I'm building a course to teach IT professionals with a moderate understanding of QA tools. My course is going to teach them how to use AI to streamline their workflows. What is the best way to format my curriculum? And what are the best tools available for this industry? Does that sound about right?
Well, that sounds fantastic.
All right, cool.
Yes.
So I'm going to type this into ChatGPT-4 and let's see what it says. Okay, so it's give me blah, blah, blah. So curriculum format, introduction to AI and QA. Objective, provide a foundational understanding of AI and its relevance to QA. Content, basics of AI, machine learning, their application. This is all pretty generic here. It's formatting it. Current state of the industry. Case studies, current tools, industry best practices. 3 would be hands-on tool exploration. So what I'm going to do, okay, so it's giving me tools right now. It's giving me tools right now. And which by the way, we always need to double check our work on these two, because sometimes it'll recommend tools, softwares, case law for all you attorneys out there that may not be legit. So I'm not a QA expert, so this is one of the reasons I'm using it. So it says best AI tools for QA. Selenium, widely used for automating web browsers, useful for testing web applications. Appium.
Yep, I've used that.
Appium. Ideal for mobile app testing. Testim.io leverages machine learning for authoring, executing, and maintaining tests. Applitools uses visual AI for visual testing and monitoring. Mabel integrates machine learning for end-to-end test automation. Test.ai, specialized in AI-powered test automation for mobile and web apps. TensorFlow or PyTorch, for those interested in building custom AI models for testing. So again, what I would do is I could do is I could say here, after it's also saying additional considerations, guest speakers, interactive learning platforms, feedback mechanisms.
Which is exactly what I'd love. Yeah, guest speakers. Yeah.
Yep. Which I took a course from the future, Chris Do, and he had guest speakers to come in and teach on topics he wasn't an expert in.
That's perfect. That's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Which I think is great. So let's say we're in that place, like guest speakers, right? This sounds great. Who are some guest speakers that specialize in this field? Give me a link to their email or website. So that's another cool thing we can do here is we can ask for websites, for references, referrals, always double checking what it tells us. Because again, it's not always going to get it right.
Right.
All right. So it says QA source with over 22 years of experience in QA services. Bug Raptors, known for using. This is a little bit too generic. A global. This is too generic. Give me examples of specific individuals in these fields.
Is your name going to come up?
Probably not in QA specifically. But I think what's important here is, I'm not getting super technical. I'm just talking to it. I'm just asking it natural questions, and it's giving me natural answers here. So identify leaders of top QA companies.
So the more specificity that you've used, and the more it'll drill down into, like, it would give us people's names if I said a specific industry.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. Okay. So it is being a little general here, but that gives us an idea. But we could also say, if we said, hey, give me 10 more QA tools using AI. Again, we can just kind of keep drilling down here. Quite frankly, I think that's the best way to format a course and formulate a course, because there's going to be stuff that pops up that maybe we maybe didn't necessarily consider at first.
Right.
It can really help us to format our course. Again, QA, not my area of expertise, but this allows us to format it. You can also, with ChatGPT specifically, it's giving me 10 more additional AI-powered QA tools. But you can ask it to format things out in like a comma delimited format, which is great for spreadsheet work. You can ask it to give you information in tables. You can ask it for pros cons list. So these are some of the ways that that I'm using ChatGPT on a daily basis. And again, 6 months ago I didn't know how to do this quite as well. But as I continue to use it, you kind of figure out how to speak to it a little better every day.
Yeah, I love it. And I have created test cases and approaches to it, and then just really drill down, to expand a little further into requirements and things. So I was just kind of wanting to talk to you about it and see, get your take.
I think it's a great idea, and every single person in that industry needs to know it, and they need to know it now.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you, Pamela.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
Woo. Well, that was something. So you could see in real time how you can actually use ChatGPT to become an expert in anything. Before this call, I didn't even know what QA it was. Okay. I know AI. I know a little bit about IT. I don't know how to code or anything, but you can start to use AI to formulate these ideas together. And here's where it gets powerful, right? It makes, and I think this is what people maybe don't understand, is that what AI is going to do across the board, across every single industry, it's going to cut out all of the middlemen, because beginners like myself can become dangerous. We can start to actually learn to talk the talk about apps, explain use cases. I can become a pretty reasonable, I can become pretty reasonably advanced on a topic just by using a tool like ChatGPT. Okay. I could probably, if I was on a phone call with someone just using ChatGPT, right? I could start to communicate in a way that made me appear to be pretty proficient in the topic, although I'd never heard of QA until today. So what it's going to do is it's going to turn beginners into average users, and it's going to turn experts into all-stars. Because I'm telling you, if Pamela was getting in here and starting using the chatbot, using Chat GPT to try to drill down on her idea, it's going to turn her into a superhuman. Pamela's going to be dangerous. She's just going to be crushing it, right? But this is going to happen, so one of my concerns here with this AI is it's become somewhat of a brain drain, because all the people in the middle, all of a sudden you're very replaceable by someone who's a beginner or just knows how to use and prompt ChatGPT, Bard, Microsoft's tool, Grok, whatever tool you're using, people are going to become pretty proficient in everything. So the experts are going to really rise to the top. All the middlemen are going to get cut out, and then the people that are beginners are going to become dangerous. So this is something that's really important. Are you going to need paralegals anymore reading over dozens, hundreds, thousands of documents? No. You're just going to use ChatGPT to read through your PDFs. I can right now, already today, I can upload a PDF to ChatGPT and it'll read it. It's crazy. It's so crazy. It blows my mind every day. Eileen, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for asking.
So glad to have you here. How can I help?
Yes, I was just wondering, because I've been using AI for ChatGPT and that. But I was just wondering, could you use the AI version for I was just wondering what the best software was to use for AI for photos or something like that, to freshen it up if you were trying to do it for your business. For instance, I do emergency disaster preparedness on the for my side gig for my for the company I'm trying to start, and so I'm just trying to figure out how to elaborate further the best softwares to use for that, as well as for the company I work for, which we do public relations. So I just wanted to see if you have any tips.
Whoo, do I have tips, Eileen? I'm beside myself because graphic design, I started doing graphic design, I'm nowhere near the level of you, I would say, but I was doing graphics and art years ago. It would take so long to do it, or it would be like all these generic stock images that aren't interesting. Those days are gone. You could take them, you could throw them out. They're gone, because the art that you can create now using AI tools is unbelievable. So starting off really basic, there's programs like Canva. Canva is awesome. It's free. It's so sick. And they're incorporating all sorts of different AI tools, right? Have you played with Midjourney at all? Have you heard of Midjourney? Have you played with Midjourney?
Oh, no, I've not heard of Midjourney.
Midjourney is super cool. Midjourney is a super cool tool. And they just released version 2. Although I think that you need to qualify for it by using Midjourney 1 for a certain amount of time, or generate a certain amount of images. But basically how it works is this. You type in something that you'd like to see it create. And you say on Midjourney, you type /imagine, woman in a field of daisies, perfectly relaxed after a long day of kite surfing or something, right? It is going to generate out the most amazing image that you've ever seen. And I know what you're thinking, Mark, but aren't they going to have 6 fingers and 12 toes? No, they won't. They're going to look awesome. They're going to look super cool. Okay. I'll give you a perfect example of this. Just yesterday, this is not Midjourney. ChatGPT just dropped this functionality of text to graphics. I was sitting in the room with my somehow on my TV here, but that's okay. I was sitting in a room with my daughter. She's 7, and I said, "Hey, let's make some cool art. Let's make some cool art for your wall." And she said, "Okay, cool." She loves giraffes. She's crazy about giraffes. When she was young, took her to Lion Country Safari, and she got to feed the giraffes. She freaking loves the things. And we said, type generate an image. I just went to ChatGPT and I typed this in: generate an image of a cool giraffe playing soccer. And it generated this amazing graphic image in about 10 seconds of this cartoon giraffe kicking a soccer ball, wearing glasses, hat backwards. Amazing. Amazing. So it's gone to this point now where it's really easy. You can just type in, generate an image, whatever you want to see, it'll create it. You can also format it. So for example, if you want to create like a Facebook banner, for example, you could say, create it in the exact specifications, whatever it is, 396 height by 1672 wide. So it can actually generate it in the specific dimensions that you need to.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting because I've been using Playground for a while because I never knew that you could do it from the other ones. That's why I was trying to figure out what other ones I could use to make the photos a little bit better for the emergency disaster preparedness, or even for the company I work for to help their clients.
There's a couple other programs. There's a company, I haven't got a chance to play with their tool yet, but it's called Leonardo. And
I've heard of Leonardo.
It's crazy. It takes just like, basically what it does is it takes like something that looks really generic and unfocused, and it just adds tons of detail to the image. Something as simple as like a smiling emoji face, it can create a really dynamic image. So Leonardo is a cool one to play with. You will stun your clients' brains. Their brains will explode when you show them this stuff. Leonardo is really cool.
So that they would probably be more compared to the other two I mentioned, they're be more stunned for the work that for the photos or whatever they do.
It's really, yeah, like if you get a photo that's kind of a little bit blurry or not crispy clear, Leonardo will really clean that up, clear it up. And it is, I don't know what to say. Like once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. It's really wild. There's another program I like called Ideogram, which is free. Ideogram is a free tool, which is cool. And that's been a really cool tool in the same vein, but it's also good for like creating logos. Like logo creation is really tough, like really tough, but AI just makes it super simple. You can say, generate, I run a landscaping business in Southern California. I'm into, I don't know, whatever you're into, I love palm trees, whatever. And it will generate like really interesting logos around that idea, which is it's just so shocking. There's so many crappy logos out there. And with tools like this that can create amazing logos instantly, I think it's a huge opportunity to generate income.
Okay, yeah. And then like for the emergency disaster preparedness, I'm trying to do a little more, what do you call it? More design instead of the crappy logos that or pictures I see. And so that, yeah, I'm trying to make it a little more elaborate for both content as well as the photos, so people can see what's going on, how to prepare, etc., instead of looking at the other ones to try to figure out, trying to give them an idea what to do for preparing, you know what I mean?
100%. 100%. One of the things that I found, like when I'm using these tools, I'll use these tools to like generate like a concept that's really rich and looks really good. And then I'll send it off to one of my team. I own a podcast production and media marketing agency. So I'll use the AI tools myself, but also my team to like start to generate and formulate ideas that look really good. And then when a client says, oh, I like this idea, I'll send it to my graphic designer to put it into like Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop to kind of clean it up, maybe InDesign to kind of refine it. But quite frankly, sometimes you don't even need to do that. Sometimes it's just like, it's right there.
No, that's true because with the current AI softwares and that, it's a little bit more better than Adobe or whatever currently ones we're using right now. It has more of elaboration and, you can actually see things a little clearer than what the Adobe would probably do.
Exactly. It's so shocking. And the other thing that I think that we're starting to see here, the other thing that we're starting to see here, Aylin, is that we're starting to see a consolidation. So like these companies are popping up, you mentioned Playground and I mentioned Ideogram. So these ideas in these are starting to pop up. But what we're starting to see, I think, is a consolidation down into a few major platforms that are just really incorporating the best ideas, which is kind of why I mentioned one of my favorite tools is ChatGPT, because for $20 a month, it surfs the internet. It can generate images. It helps me create prompts. It can write code. I can upload images. I give you an example. You can upload, don't know what to cook for dinner tonight? No problem. Take a picture of your refrigerator, upload the picture to ChatGPT and ask it to generate a dinner menu and give you the recipe based on the ingredients that are in there. So
or a smudge podge of your food.
right. It'll be like, well, you have milk and you have eggs and you have cheese, make an omelet, right? So, which sounds obvious, but it can go deeper than that. But then you can even create your own chat bots within ChatGPT. So what I think that OpenAI is doing, which is interesting, is they're taking the best ideas, bringing them into under one platform, and creating what is maybe the most powerful tool that humanity's ever seen.
Right. Yes.
But I love your question about
Thanks very
images,
much.
and I'm excited to see what you can put together. It's being
Yeah,
first is
I'll
important.
I'll keep you informed. I think I share added you on LinkedIn. So
All
yeah,
right.
I'll share some. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. It was great chatting with you, Aylin. And if you want notification on the newest best tools, you can get them at the AIupdate.ai. AIupdate.ai. AIupdate.ai.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Go crush it. Let's go.
Moment
Disaster relief.
holiness. Thanks.
Saving the world. Thank you, Aylin.
All right. Take care. Thanks.
More tools, more tools, more tools. One of the reasons that I love doing this is because I get new ideas. It's not just about my wisdom. It's about learning wisdom. Hey, Jason, can we get this TV back on? I know what happened to the TV here. Lost it. Hello, Connie. What's up?
Hi, Mark. Great to talk to you. I am I've got several books. I've got 6 best-selling books, and I do a lot of master classes. And I was curious, what is the best AI to use for writing?
Sure. Best-selling books, and you're developing master classes, you said?
Yeah, I've written 3 master classes. One is called Kick Butt Leadership. One on disasters called Do Well by Doing Good, and a certification on the power of preparedness.
Beautiful. So I love the question. Glad you're here, Connie, because obviously authorship and writing, it changed a lot with like ebooks and Amazon, and it's going to change a lot more with AI. I think the first question I would ask is, let's be a little bit more specific in what you're trying to accomplish. Are you building out a course? Are you writing like a blog? Are you going to be writing a new book? Is it an ebook? Is it a pamphlet? What are you looking to write?
I've got my next book is coming out, and I also have a masterclass on. I'm going to update my Kick Butt Leadership course, which was a course based upon the John Maxwell principles of leadership, but from a little bit different perspective. And what I'm trying to do, I have a nonprofit that we are teaching people how to be community leaders and how to make a difference in their community at the same time. So it's actually kind of all of the above. There's going to be a book, there's going to be a master class, there's going to be a workshop, a retreat, but it's all going to be around the same topic as far as community leadership, how to stand out in your community, how to make a difference, why it's important, who's going to listen to you because you are a community leader. So it's kind of it's a brand new package that I'm putting together.
Excellent. Beautiful. Love it. We need more community leaders now more than ever, right? We need leaders.
Right. Amen.
We need leaders,
Amen.
baby. We need leaders. So there are different tools, but you know what? I'm just going to stick with ChatGPT because it is my favorite tool. It is my favorite tool.
Okay.
I think for $20 a month, the amount that it gives you is pretty ridiculous. So I think that there's one thing that's important to keep in mind on this, Connie, is that, you know, when it comes to authorship and book writing, we definitely don't just want to copy and paste. What ChatGPT is going to give us is going to be really good. But we don't want to copy and paste it. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier. I'll just kind of relay this idea again, because I think it's pretty solid. But is using ChatGPT to kind of format out what you want to be doing, right? So write me out the outline for the book, write me out the programming for my masterclass, write me out the emails, right? And so you're able to kind of like format all these different chats based on this particular topic of community leadership. You might even ask it for examples of people that might be able to guest speak or write the foreword, things like that, right?
Okay, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
Well, right, because there may be things that you may haven't. You can even, and I'll tell you this: ChatGPT has read every single book that's ever been written. Let me repeat, it knows every book that's ever been written. So if you're saying, hey, I want to take some principles from John Maxwell, and would take some principles here from Napoleon Hill, and you're like, it'll do all of that. Donald Miller, it'll bring it all together, and you can ask it for ideas. Now, so as you've kind of formulating your ideas, you're formulating your outline, you're formulating your programming, right? And you're going deeper, and you're getting all this. Well, then you just kind of like fill in the gaps. You start to expand on that with your personal stories. Okay. I'm, just to be straight, I'm not much of a writing guy. I'm more of a talking guy. I prefer to talk rather than write. Okay. You're probably right.
Actually, me too. But I don't know how I ended up writing books. I have no idea, or classes.
So. And the reason I mentioned that is because typing takes a long time, but speaking, I can speak really quick. So what you can actually do is you can speak. Let's say you're using a program like Audacity. Audacity is free. Really cool program, Audacity. And what you can do is just as you're going through your Chat GPT and you're kind of like seeing what, like, this is what the topic is, right? Maybe it's like building a mission or building a vision. And then you're going to import your own eloquent expertise that you've developed over the years. You can actually just speak. You can dictate the words. Okay. After that, you can take all that audio and you can upload it into a program like Cast Magic or Swell. What else?
What was the first one you mentioned?
Cast Magic.
Okay.
Cast Magic. I love Cast Magic. The developer Blaine over there is awesome. You could use a program like Otter AI or transcript.com. There's quite a few. Cast Magic is great. And what it'll do is it'll transcribe all the words that you've spoken. Okay. And so instead of having to type out everything from top to bottom, you're dictating it using the transcription software and then just going in and kind of formatting it, filling in the blanks, adding pieces here and there where, because transcription software is not going to be 100%. It's sometimes going to get words wrong,
Right. I have used Otter in the past, so I'm familiar with that.
And one of the cool things with Cast Magic, Otter is great. I still use it, by the way. But one of the cool things you can do with Cast Magic is, not only will it give you the transcription, but it'll give you other ideas, right? So you can ask it to write blog posts, emails, social media posts, newsletters. You can ask it to write all kinds of stuff. You could even, so after it has all of your words, then it can use the AI within it to write out other information. So that this is why I love podcasting, by the way, because a 15-minute podcast I can easily turn into blog articles and social media posts and emails and all of that, because AI is so powerful at interpreting and then predicting and doing predictive text, and then you just throw some people on the back end to try to clean it up and make it more more human, I guess.
Interesting. Okay, well, that's a lot of really, really good suggestions. I really appreciate it. And thank you for being on Owwll.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that I got a chance to chat with you here, and I'm glad that Jason could bring me on. Jason's great. I met him because of podcasting. Every client, every stage, every lead I have came from podcasting. I'm a huge fan. And I love some of the comments out here. Leaders are readers. Love Audacity. Audacity is great. If you haven't played with it, Connie, you're going to love Audacity. Audacity is a lot of fun.
Okay, cool. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're very welcome. And if you want to know any of the new AI tools and stuff that's happening, you can sign up for my newsletter free at aiupdate.ai. aiupdate.ai. Totally free. Just going to lay out what I know and what I find out, because stuff is changing so fast.
I do have one more quick question for you.
Sure.
Okay, so I did have a podcast. I because I was getting the nonprofit off the ground, I put it on pause, and I'm getting ready to relaunch it in January.
Mm-hmm.
I did it a long time ago. It's not a long time ago, but I was doing it up until about a year ago, and I know that a lot of things have changed. What is one good suggestion you have when you're relaunching a podcast?
Wow. So we've got 1 minute.
Okay.
I think above all is understanding who you want to speak to, A, and B, trying to decide why you want that podcast. Is it for personal branding? Is it bringing clients? Is it to generate relationships? Is it because you want to generate income? The first thing we want to do is figure out why we're doing this in the first place. Okay. And that, and then we work backwards. From there. To me, one of the most powerful parts of podcasting is attracting people that you might not normally have access to. I mentioned this earlier in the stream. I got to have a 45-minute call with Neil Patel. He is the man when it comes to SEO. He speaks on hundreds of stages. I got 45 minutes for free with Neil Patel, just asking him questions because of my podcast. And Sean Cannell, Jasmine Starr. So I think that's a really great way of formatting a show. Is I want to attract people that I want to be networked with.
Well, thank you very much. 12 seconds to go. Thank you very much, Mark. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Connie. Go crush that book, baby. Let's go. That course is going to be awesome. Woo.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, we are getting it going over here. We are getting it going. You can tell once I get started on AI, I do not stop. It is endlessly fascinating. I'll be going here probably for a few more minutes. The parade rained out, so I'll be here for a few minutes. I was going to go marching in the Coral Springs parade. My daughter is part of the Irish dance troupe. But because that rained out, I'll probably be here for a few more minutes. Because again, once I get started talking AI, I cannot stop. If you want to ask a question, you could get on the Owwll app. And I'd be happy to talk to you about your project and see about some ways you might be able to get it fired up, accelerated using various AI tools. It changed my life. When I started using AI in my business, this was about 1.5 years ago. I quit my job 4 months later. After we started using AI and executing on it, it changed my entire life. And I'll tell you what, it's kind of funny. When I was 30, I thought my best days were behind me. I was like, oh man, my 20s, those were the time. Those were the golden eras. I'll tell you what, this last year, age 40 was my best year yet. I had more fun, more accomplishments in my 40s than any year prior to that. I cannot wait for what's coming next, y'all. I cannot wait. So any of you youngsters out there that think that your best days are ahead of you, you haven't even gotten warmed up yet. The first inning hasn't even started yet. You know what I'm saying? AI changes everything. It changes everything. You need to be using it in your project. You need to be using it now, because the efficiency, listen, you get home and you get home from work, or you finally close down your shop for the day and you're at home, you're thinking wow, there's probably some work I need to get done, but I don't know where to start. You pop open a software like ChatGPT, the most powerful tool ever to be invented, ever to be created, and it's going to get you rolling. It's going to get you started. You don't need to be sitting back and just sitting at a frozen screen, scrolling through your phone endlessly. Just stop. Stop scrolling. Pop it open and start getting the work done. If you walk away with one thing, I think that is perhaps the most important. You need to start using the tools now, because the day is coming. You're gonna walk into your work, into your office, and they're gonna be like, "Guess what? It's AI training day." And if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna be in trouble. You're gonna be in trouble. And quite frankly, you don't even necessarily need to use AI professionally. If you're using it both on a personal level, it's going to give you some tools and skills that are relevant. I'll give you an example. I'm going to be visiting Washington, D.C. with my wife. I don't know exactly when. 2024, probably Q1. Okay. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to write us out an itinerary. I'm going to say, this is why we're going. This is what we already have planned. These are the dates we're going to be there. Write us out an itinerary. And it'll say, well, based on the first week of March, it's probably going to be pretty cold. So you're going to want to wear this kind of a jacket with these type of shoes. We suggest the Natural History Museum. That will typically take about 4 hours to go. After that, get lunch at Doris's Deli. It'll walk you through everything. I do have a training day coming up. A training day is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. If you shoot me a LinkedIn message, shoot a LinkedIn message to Mark Savant, and I will give you an invite, totally free, to the ChatGPT training. It's going to be awesome. All I ask is that you bring a computer, you bring your project idea, and we are going to get into the weeds. You're going to walk out ready to rock. So yes, you can attend the training day. It's normally behind a paywall, but I've opened it up because I love you and because you need it and because I'm on a mission to save 1 million people from AI by using AI. I can see the writing on the wall. The World Economic Forum, 70 million jobs displaced within 12 months. 70 million jobs displaced within 12 months. Walmart, we want to automate 63% of our stores within 1 year by 2025. Spoiler alert, retail is the number one employer in the entire country. They're going to automate 63% of their stores. Not only is retail the number one employer in the United States, but Walmart is the largest employer. So the largest employer of the most amount of people is going to automate 63% of their stores. Do you think that'll affect you? Do you think that will impact you? The answer is yes, it will. But it's not too late. You can start learning the tools. You can start being relevant. You can start shifting and adjusting now. Because I'll tell you what, when I'm hiring, we had someone call in earlier saying they were looking for a job as a video editor. You know, the first question I asked this person, how are you using AI to edit videos? How are you doing it? Because if you're not using AI to edit videos, it's going to take you 10 times longer to do it. If you're not using AI to develop courses, it's going to take you 10 times longer to do it. If you're not using AI to automate emails and automate your sales systems, it's going to take you 10 times longer to do it. This is not rocket science, people. I'm not dooming and glooming you. I'm saying this because I know it's the fact. I know it's the case. I've already done it in my own business. Once I started using AI in my business, I quit my day job 4 months later and went all in. I had the best year of my life last year. What do you think it can do for you? It changes everything. It changes everything. It changes everything. So good. So good. Well, listen, y'all, it's getting a little bit late here in sunny South Florida. I would encourage you to start getting involved in AI. Shoot me a message, shoot me an email, mark at marksavantmedia.com. That's mark at marksavantmedia.com. You can find me on the Owwll app. I'm around. This was fun. Maybe we'll do it again. I don't know. We will see. But nevertheless, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you could be with me here and go out and crush your goals. All right. AI or bust. Let's go. I'm going to go ahead and close this down because we got a lot going on. But yes, now is the time. Now is the time. It's not too late. It's the perfect time. All right. I'll catch you next time. Peace.